That's fair. So we're just going to take a quick look at your camcorders. So we've converted 3 of these for you. So each of the camcorders, they're all the Panasonic HC V180. So they're all very capable recorders. They've got 10 megapixel still images and they've got full HD 1080p video footage. So on the top of the cam, you've got your zoom in and out. You've got your still image capture button. You've got the record button, charging port on the back. You've got lens cover and Velcro adjustable strap. Battery can be fitted or removed by just sliding this little lever back. So I'll just move on to the camcorder. So it's just charging up at the moment. If we open the door, it will say you'll go through the setup. It's fully touchscreen, so I'll just say no to that at the moment. It's warning that there's no card in. So at the bottom of the device, you put the card in. I think it shows you the little way there, the little icon. So it'll slide in like that, shut the door, and that message will disappear. So on the screen there, you see if I tilt the camera, it's telling you that the camera is tilted, so that will allow you to keep the camera steady and straight. You can toggle that mode off by pressing the little button there, so we can turn it back on. So it's just a little visual indicator, as you'll see, if the camera's tilted. And you've probably seen it earlier. Again, if the camera's panning too fast, it will give that warning as well to tell you to slow down. So you've got this little icon at the top, so it'll either be Intelligent Auto, which is the red IA, and if we press that, it will take you to your mode selection. So you've got a loop mode, you've got scene recording with lots of different scenes, so you've got beach, etc., candlelight, fireworks, moonlight, each of their own different settings. You've got Intelligent Auto Plus, so it's a bit like auto mode, but it'll just give you the ability, I think if we press the bottom down at the bottom, you can actually, you've got some control over the red or blueness of your, so it's a bit like a white balance really. That'll come more into play when you're actually in the dark and the infrared kicks in, so you can actually set the colour temperature really. You'll also see a lot of other information like Dolby 2 channel and that if you shaking a little bit, it'll come up to tell you to put the optical image stabilization on. We've also got an exposure control as well in Intelligent Auto, so you can really brighten things up in the dark when you're using the infrared illuminator. You've got this colour palette mode, so you've got a miniature effect mode. You've got an 8mm movie effect. You'll see it put some crackles across the screen. And likewise, you've got a silent movie mode, and then you've also got an intervalometer, so that's a time lapse. So you can set that up to actually record every so often. You'll see it'll record a frame from every 1 second through to every 2 minutes, and then it'll actually roll that up into a mini time-lapse movie for you to watch or for you to publish on social media, which is really good. So coming back out of that, right, manual mode. So when you get a feel for the camcorder and you get to use it or get to know it, the main one you'll need is WB white balance. So at the minute it's an auto white balance. This is where you'll get the quirky, it's like a pinky hue, purple hue, and then you'll get this flashing. It's like a bit like an envelope, an open envelope. If you press that button, it'll take a reading, and then your colours will look a lot more balanced, a lot more natural, probably a little bit monochrome. And I think that, personally, I believe that's a lot nicer looking to publish to social media, or likewise if you're on TV channels or online. So you can scroll along, you've got actual, you can zoom in and zoom out using the buttons on the touch screen if you're in dark conditions, but it's easy enough to see on top, to feel on top of the camcorder anyway. And you've also got the record button. You've got the optical imaging stabilization, so that can be turned on and off. I just recommend to leave it on all the time. You've got pre-record, so it'll record a couple of seconds before you press the record button if you want. Backlight compensation, which is good if you've got somebody, if you're filming against, say, a sunset or a moonrise, it'll actually balance a person's face out a lot better. I don't know what it's top one. Oh, you've got fade in and out, so that's an effect. When you start recording, it'll fade in and out. Manual focus is can be selected, which is quite good in locked off areas. If you've got a lot of passing objects and you don't want the camera, like you'll see there, focusing on my hand and then back to the distance. You can actually, well, it won't because it's not in auto mode, but you can set a certain point, so you can have it really close up. You'll see it's gone, that's like blurry there, or if we push the focus out, you'll see it come back in and then go beyond again. So if we just press the focus, select autofocus, and then I'll show you what I meant. So it will now record, now focus against my hand, then it'll dip again. So that's right on my fingers, and then you'll see it focus on the background. Right, so we'll stay in manual mode. You've also got shutter speed. You can actually increase the shutter speed, so if it's higher, it'll be darker. So that's 1/2000th of a second the shutter's staying open for, so it's good for really bright light. But in darker conditions, I'd stick down to the shutter at 1/50th of a second. And the iris, again, that's open, so that's, if we're closing the iris of the camera down, it's basically closing the amount of light passing into the camera, so it'll actually be darker. So you'll see it's going f2.0, and that's open, and it's increasing the gain as well. So you can see we can go right up to 18 there, so it'll be almost super bright. But again, they're things you can play with. So just leave it in intelligent auto for a start. You'll get the pinky coloured image. But like I say, when you're familiar with that, you can start going into the manual modes. You've also got record setup modes. You can choose your format, etc. What recording format, MP4 or AVCHD. You've also got the resolution, 50 frames per second if you want, or the interpolated or interlaced, I think, 50i. And then you've got your main camera setup, so you've got your clock, how long your display will stay active for, etc. And bags of other features in there that you can start to have a look at. So I'll move it back to camcorder. Just put this light on a minute. So you've got an infrared illuminator, excellent illuminator, chargeable via USB. The lead will be included, so you can let's see if it's actually, yeah, you can probably just see it seeping through. So you can have it at half light or full light. So you'll see that as I move that around the camera. It's like semi-daylight at the minute. So what we do with the illuminator is the illuminator pushes into place on the bracket tighten it down so that's facing forward, and it's nicely clamped. So this part, then I probably wanted to turn that round. Just undo that way and turn it around so it's facing forward. You then screw that into a tripod socket of the camera, and I usually sit that so it's in front of the door, and then you can line it all up. And if you want to mount this to a camcorder, a tripod, you've obviously got both these options, but I'd select this one because it's a bit more stable then, so you can mount it to a camcorder, or you can just hold it handheld. So when you're in the dark, then away you go, and in intelligent auto mode, saying it'll set the brightness automatically. If we go back into manual mode and we open up that iris as it was, it'll get super bright then. So when you're outside, etc., you can open that right up. Obviously it'll be overexposed in here, but outdoors, that's how to really boost your range of the camcorder. Hopefully that helps. Thanks.